Good evening, Internet. What's going on? My name is the Schwantz27, and I am joined by Joker Mage tonight for this Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide race. Joker, what's happening? What are we watching tonight?
I don't actually know because I think originally we were going to do a scheduled triad race, but I guess the schedules got confused. So I think this is just a pickup of one of the triad flag sets, and I'm not sure which one. Did they happen to tell you which one?
This is Poltergeist's Fury flag set. So yeah, it was me. I thought that Thursday was actually Wednesday. That's how my week has been going. How has your week been going so far?
There's a lot of snow outside, so I'm glad I'm not outside.
Yeah, the snowplow certainly got its work cut out for it here in New York, as it is where you are, also in New England. Retrophile with a rate of a party of 6. Thank you, Retro, and GG's on your race from earlier tonight. We are going to be doing Poltergeist Fury flag set, and that means we need to find 7 characters and 9 espers. We start off with 3 characters, and in this particular set of options, since it is a warring triad practice flag set, our scaling is the amount of checks that our runners do times 2.5 for the level, HP, and MP of all of our enemies, and the experience and GP they drop is characters, espers, and dragons times 2.5. Some other interesting things about this flag set is that if we win a Coliseum match, we'll get a Dragoon set. If we kill 4 dragons, we get both auto haste and auto save, similar to the spicy chicken itself. We will have a possibility of shock being one of the commands that gets randomized. We also have multi-summon on espers, get more lores to start off with, and we have Y NPC set to remove so that we can potentially sequence break some stuff, including the Cursed Shield, which has its battles between 11 and 20. Additionally, we will not be learning any ice spells, any bolt spells, or stop in this flag set, and the dead check rewards are either a Flame Shield, a Megalixir, or some other various high-tier relics for Poltergeist Fury. So, Joker Mage, have you done a lot of these Poltergeist Fury flag sets? And if you have, what is your strategy for them?
I have not. I mostly have just been commentating them, though. But yeah, the main thing with this is that those dead checks, they're going to make things a lot harder for you because you're not going to get the experience, but the enemies are going to scale off of them. So that's why it's like that, is just to make those dead checks a bit more punishing. So definitely want to watch out. But if you, the other thing to just be watching out for also that you'll notice is that because this is, spicy chicken themed, all of our palettes, the color schemes and all that are going to be spicy chicken flavored. So
Delish.
It's going to be really, really red everywhere and really, really orange everywhere. Additionally, I think I'm trying to remember. I know that I think this is like one of the more preferred flag sets of the 3, because I know that this is one that seems to draw a lot of repeat play times. So I think originally the one that was scheduled was actually going to be a goddess flag set, but instead of seeing a goddess flag set here, we're going to just do some more spicy chicken, and it's a lot of fun, just because it's I think it goes pretty fast, is what I remember.
Yeah, so starting out with 3 characters and having to get to 7, which is one more than our standard racing requirements, means it'll be slightly longer. However, we do get a Kefka Tower skip, and you see Jexvarok scrolling past it there. 8 characters, 12 espers, or 22 checks. So we most likely are going to get the skip into Kefka Tower for just getting one more character beyond our required 7 here. The other thing that's interesting is we have access to different areas of the map with Y NPC set to remove, we could actually sequence break into a bunch of different areas that we normally would not be accustomed to due to the character gating concept behind Worlds Collide here. So
Yeah,
that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Mount Zozo a bit more common. Like even if we don't start with Scion, because we can just get past that rusty door by using the remove. And there's a dragon up there, and it feels like dragons are going to be valuable not only because of the auto bonuses you get for 4 of them, but they do count as checks, but they're checks that can give you a lot of experience, a lot of magic points, and sort of boost you up if you've been running into a lot of dead checks.
Additionally, we will have access to Ultima. I mentioned some of the spells we will not be using, so that's Bolt, Ice, Stop. But we do have access to Ultima, and if we uncurse that shield between 11 and 20 battles, we will be able to learn Ultima at a ×1 rate, so that is something to keep our eyes out there. And taking those dragons, 2 of them, will allow any character to basically learn Ultima, because it's 50 MP per dragon that we have here. So we'll see what our runners get up to. I would suspect that most of them would want to check the curse shield count. And who are our runners tonight? In the upper left-hand corner, Jesus the Frog with that green and even darker green. Knuckly Kong with the purple with the gray trim. Jex Rock with the black with the purple trim. It's kind of like an inverse of Knuckly. And Drinks Glue with the standard blue and white. And it looks like our racers are off and running here. +3 boss levels and +7 dragon levels at the start of the seed, and that's because the levels are based on checks, and otherwise they'd be doing absolutely nothing. We've got 2 natural magic users in our group: Runic Natural Magic Strago, Sword Tech Natural Magic Edgar, and I think that was Control?
Yeah, there was a Control on one of them. Yeah, and it's not a bad starting party. There's a lot that's going to open up, and again, even with without certain characters, with that Y remove is going to open up a few doors. Since we have Edgar in the party, we might actually see the ancient castles, because you can loop all of Edgar's stuff right in really quickly, and there's a dragon down there too.
Yeah, the ancient castle does allow us to also get some monster in a boxes if it comes to be that we need to go down that way there.
But yeah, we got 2 of them in Narsh, just doing sort of standard stuff, and as you said, we're going to be checking out the different checks here, since we can just Y remove the door and we don't have to have Lock in our team to do that. Mega Lexer or Marvel Shoes? I think you like Marvel Shoes, right?
No, please get them away. Stop that.
So you'd pick the Mega Lexer?
Yeah, obviously. Definitely Mega Elixir way better than the other ones here. I'm trying to get our stream in sync, and I'm having trouble with numbers here. I'm sorry, chat. They should be lining up better than they actually are.
Well, hopefully this seed won't be chock full of Marvel Shoes like the last time we did comms together.
Yeah, that was disgusting, and I never want to be a part of that ever again.
But yeah, we're seeing a bunch of standard openings, Returner Base, Narsh, South Figaro. This is all fairly straightforward. South Figaro is actually going to have a lot of value here, because you have Edgar, you have Celeste, so you can buy some stuff cheap in the shops. You can do Celeste's freebie check. Although, again, if it doesn't pay off, that does hurt your scaling.
Yeah, so in this flag set, you definitely want to save before you do some checks. You want to peek them and make sure that they are actually something that you would want before taking it, because this way you're driving up the scaling without driving up the XP. And Knuckly Kong here is going to bother this poor gentleman in bed with an 18 battle curse shield there. 18 is a bit on the high side. Yeah, our max is 20 in this flag set, just due to the nature of having access to Ultima right away. So yeah, that is a bit on the higher side, as I mentioned, but I think it's personally worth it. 18 is a bit much. I think if it was 15 and under, I would go for it. And with this character set here, we do have access to Burning House, right, with Strago, and Opera House Disruption. So we can take a couple of checks that have a lot of encounters. Same with Magitech Factor if we go all the way to the end there. And Jesus the Frog checking the throne, and it is a Magicite Ifrit for him.
I don't think we've seen any new characters yet. At least I haven't noticed any.
Not yet.
Is that Ifrit the first thing on the board for anyone?
I think so, but I also did not see what was at the Norse Weapon Shop because I was trying to...
The weapon shop was the Marvel Shoes and Mega Elixir choice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, Marvel Shoes are terrible. Get yourself a new pair of kicks, folks. You don't need Marvel Shoes. It's the best relic that you never use, which means you're never using it.
And yeah, Mega Elixir is kind of handy for the final fight.
Yeah, because you know that Kefka is going to rock you with Fallen One at some point, so you're definitely going to want to make sure that you have something to deal with that.
Has anyone actually checked Celeste's South Figaro check? Oh, I think we're seeing it now on Knuckly. Oh, he's not going for it. So...
All right, well...
Oh, it's a Phantom. Drinks Glue has Phantom.
Was that the
yeah, that was Celeste's freebie.
Okay, perfect.
But Knuckly Kong saw the character there and just said nope, but that was an Esper. 50K for the thief. Maybe check the other world first.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to be buying that at that price. That's a bit steep there. Yeah, perhaps Knuckly is just looking for his first character here, and that's why he said, no, this is not a character. I don't care what this is. I will come back later for it. Maybe
he's got that curse shield on Celeste. You can tell by like just how many problems she's having.
Why are you hitting yourself, Celeste? Why are you hitting yourself?
Is he just trying to get some levels and also get some battles in?
Yeah, so one way that you can gain levels in Worlds Collide is by taking off the Moogle Charm and going ahead and getting your fights that way.
Looks like Lou's going to check the throne room and possibly do some shopping.
Yeah, so if you have Edgar in the front of your party here in the South Figaro Castle, you actually get half off everything in here. So it's a pretty good deal to put him in the front of your party and do your shopping that way, because you're just going to save money.
And Jesus Frog is checking the... Yep, see, Marvel Shoes Mega Elixir choice.
That's not great.
And then he'll also find the 18 battle curse shield soon.
Yeah, so we know that Knuckly Kong is committed to uncursing that shield. We'll see if any of our other runners decide that it's worth it or not.
That's a pretty decent shop there in Figaro Castle. There's warp sleeping bags, a bunch of other like really useful stuff for consumables.
Speed +1 on Phantom is a pretty nice one to have as well. And Ifrit, I did not see. That was so fast. Cat Hood pickup from Knuckly Kong there. Would have liked to have had that before the grind fights. Because then you could have gotten a ton of GP for it, but alas, it's still pretty good.
I think Lou forgot where he parked.
Yeah, much like Kefka's shoes, the airship does not like sand, so you have to park it there on the grass, unfortunately.
And this is an interesting fight on Jex's screen.
Yeah, so can do some work there with the sword tech. Unfortunately, regular fight is going to be a little bit of a problem because of the high evade of Boras.
And we got a palette swap up on Jesus the Frogs too, so we're getting a bunch of the muscle guys.
Yeah, that is Gigantos, though, from the Monster in a Box. And if he can survive this fight, this is the single most XP per level rich fight in the entire game. So he just has to survive the onslaught of counterattacks that
And also,
Gigantos has.
he also has to survive the onslaught of Strago being cursed.
Yeah, I mean, the curse shield's not too bad with somebody as long as they don't have a weapon on them, and that's what you usually do is to make sure.
Or if you can put out.
Yeah, you make them unarmed, and it's not that big of a deal. Although he's barely hanging on here, as those marble shoes are actually coming in handy. Who would have thought it? Not this guy.
Yeah, I mean, the other one strategy I like, if you have the opportunity and don't have any other way around it, is just give the cursed person a heal rod, and then they'll just like be a sort of heal bot for you.
Yeah, I love that strategy. It's really effective. Meanwhile, the other runners here are going to go about their business. Jexvarok getting some levels, Knuckly Kong in the basement getting some levels, and we are also looting World of Ruin South Figaro because the outside shops are different from the World of Balance there, or rather the outside treasure chests. One other thing about this flag set, 20 battles might seem pretty high for a Cursed Shield, but the statues in Kefka's Tower are shuffled amongst their vanilla locations, and one of the things that is interesting for that particular aspect of the flag set is that our maximum scaling is level 50. So when those types of bosses get that high of levels, it's going to be really difficult to take them out fairly quickly. So having that Paladin Shield is going to help significantly in those fights there.
Yeah, it's always fun watching a Atma or Atma weapon cast like Goner and follow one like it was Kefka.
Yeah, so Desperation attacks don't really have a very high chance of coming out in Final Fantasy VI. I think it's like 1 in 32 chance of a Desperation attack. And unfortunately, that fight is just too much for Jesus the Frog to overcome. However, he knows that that fight is there, and he will be able to come back to it at some point later on in the race. Dragonhorn and a gold hairpin for Knuckly Kong from the Returner's hideout. So remember I said you do get access to Ultimate in this seed. However, Ultimate is set at 254 magic points, though it is very expensive to cast. So having a gold hairpin is extremely beneficial because that'll cut your MP cost in half. Will allow you to actually use Ultima more than once in a battle for most of the game.
Ifrit had X-Zone, Vanish, Drain, and Regen.
Yeah, so X-Zone is pretty good because that's instant death. Vanish is okay. I guess you could use it in Tier 1 of Final Kefka, but otherwise you're not really going to use it. Meanwhile, I think we have our first actual check here for Drinks Glue, and he wants a night in the opera, but he's got a date with Ultros on top there, and you can see the power of Y NPC remove. You don't actually have to go flick the switch. You could actually Y remove the NPC that is the door and get access to the rafters here without having to go over. So nice heads up play from Glue, knowing where he can save time. Meanwhile, it looks like Knuckly Kong, after picking up some levels, is going to head down into Edgar's loop of checks, right? There's the South Figaro engine room, and then there is the ancient castle. Meanwhile, Jexvarok accidentally gets attacked by an Ultros flying around in the sky. Thankfully has a fire rod to quickly take care of that threat. Gets a lot of XP for that, and that's what the good thing is about taking on all of these free checks early. Yeah, so since we don't have Setzer, we can't search the skies for the Doomgaze spot, so that Unicorn Esper is potentially huge for Jexvarok, not only in terms of, clearing out ill statuses in the final fight, but if it's got something good to cast on it, Bio, okay.
It's got regen also, so there's a bit of a repeat there.
It's one of the better spells in this flag set because remember, we do not have access to learning any ice or bolt spells, only fire spells. So Fire 3 and Merton are obviously going to be better than Bio. Same with Pearl, but not a lot else is going to be on the menu here. Jexrock heading to the Coliseum. Remember, the Coliseum will reward a Dragoon set if you get a win, and Jexrock here is going for an Ice Shield. However, this mover here can be a bit of a problem. Extremely high physical defense and evade, and then extremely high magical defense. I think it's got 100% evade, actually, so if you try a regular fight, it's not going to work.
And a couple of our players have found Moogle suits for Strago.
Question for you, Joker Mage. You think that's made out of real Moogle, or is it synthetic?
I just assumed it was like a tuxedo that Moogles like to wear when they go to fancy dinner parties, but I can go dark, too. We can say it's from real Moogle.
There we go. All right, so that dispatch will finally do it there, and Jexy's going to grab himself an Ice Shield, which is pretty nice. It will not teach Ice 2 in this flag set, but normally it does. And with a natural jumper with Edgar, you gotta think, I want to get that Dragoon set as early as possible. And there it is, Boots, Horn, Aura Lance, the full Edgar package there.
What was Edgar's command originally?
Sword Tech.
Okay, so it's a bit of a trade-off, although if you don't have Cyan, you're not going to be able to max out Sword Tech.
Yeah, and this is a Tyrannosaur for this fight here. So, thankfully he's up in the air, and hopefully this will go down pretty easily. Meanwhile, Drinkskaloo is through all the rats in the rafters, and Jesus the Frog is heading into the Casa del Fuego, as it's
he also
known in the Worlds Collide community.
Jesus the Frog also found a ribbon in one of the Thamasa barrels. So,
oh, nice.
So Strago's going to have a bit easier time, or assuming that he still needs to uncurse it. But I don't see the condemned timer on top anymore, so it's possible he unclipped it.
Yeah, so Ribbon will allow you to not get any of the bad status effects of the Curse Shield, but you will still have the Condemned timer. So as you mentioned, I think he must have taken it off temporarily. Or he's just not uncursing it. Meanwhile, Drinkskaloo getting past the Chad there. I think he used the Fire Rod, just as Knuckly Kong also using the Fire Rod there against Tritalk on the bed of pasta.
It's nice that we're in a fire-themed flag set, and you got some weak-to-fire enemies at some early checks.
Speaking of Cyan, there he is at the engine room, so Knuckly Kong can go through Cyan's dream and upgrade his Edgar to have Sword Tech.
And it's Glue found Gao at the Opera House.
A shock capture Gao, nonetheless, so we already have two different paths through our seed here, which is cool to see.
Which path do you think you'd prefer?
I prefer the Cyan, because then I could power up my Edgar to do whatever I want, and Cyan could hopefully wear that Dragoon set from winning the Coliseum match. But Gao is my favorite character in the randomizer. Then there's some dried meat for Gao, for Knuckly when he eventually finds him. Drinkskaloo, unfortunately, did not have dried meat here, so he's going to go through the Serpent Trench first. So Gao has two options of good commands, or as pessimists call it, two options for bad commands. In this scene, we got the good ones.
Megalixirs are actually for sale in the Figaro Castle shop, so
yeah,
you want a discount.
Yeah, that's the World of Ruin one, too, which is nice because most of the other runners went to the World of Balance for Edgar's first check, and that is the first Esper there for Knuckly Kong.
Yeah, he skipped the Phantom that was in Celeste's check, I believe.
Meanwhile, Drinkskaloo heading through the Serpent Trench. And Jesus the Frog is healing up here in the Burning House. Always got to bring in some healing items because there is no save point in the burning house where you could use a sleeping bag.
And we are going to see the ancient castle shortly on Knuckly Kongs.
All right, let's see if Jexvarok can survive the Gigantos onslaught here. He has a bit more. He's got 10 fire rods and a super ball, so he's got a bit more for his offense here. So I suspect he'll probably get past this just fine.
This might be our first dragon sighting as well in the ancient castle, because I don't think we've seen the ruined opera house yet.
Yeah, so Knuckly Kong has to go down through the ancient castle here, can take on the dragon if he so chooses, and will get a reward as well. Meanwhile, Glue is almost through the Serpent Trench.
I mean, if I'm coming all the way down here, I'm definitely taking that dragon.
Yeah, so remember, we do need to get to 4 dragons to get the auto safe and auto haste. And with Edgar, we have access to 1 dragon. With Cyan, we have access to another dragon in Mount Zozo. And then we have, as you mentioned, the Opera House dragon, which is pretty free. And then the one on top of Norsh, which is also coupled with the Tritok spot for good measure.
And Jex is doing Magitech facility, it looks like. I assume probably only the first half of it and then warping out, but I guess we'll see. I mean, there's no one who has Magitech on as a command yet, so it doesn't make sense to necessarily do the full thing just yet.
Well, we do not get the upgrade for Magitech by going through the Magitech factory with the Warring Triads flags, and it's just a gem box at the end of the Serpent Trench. So Drinks Glue getting a dead check, but did get a bunch of levels underneath him, and will get to peek around in these shops. Having over 40,000 GP is pretty nice too.
Instead of a water dragon at the ancient castle, we got a spicy one.
Oh boy, those are Illuminas for sale there in World of Balance Nikea, and we have a Genji glove, so Glue is just going to sell as much as he can in order to buy at least one of them, selling the offering as well, because he has Edgar and Celeste, who could both use the Illumina.
I'm sorry, did you say that Nikea had value?
Nikea has value, folks. There's also fixed ice in there too, if you really want to go. All right, Flame Shield for Knuckly Kong is the reward for the dragon, which is actually really nice because that will teach him fire too. And he gets Fenrir, some calmness protection down in the ancient castle.
Yeah, ancient castle is really paying off there, and we haven't seen any of the monster in boxes down there yet, but there are 2 of them.
Jexvarok doing the Torre Magitech factory here, opening up all of the chests, finding an ice shield in an out-of-the-way one as well. So getting value there. Drinks Glue, meanwhile, buying up a couple of Illuminas and is moving on to the Magitech factory himself here. Jesus the Frog at the end of the Burning House against Dullahan here. Yeah, so Gembox is a nice 30k item, essentially. You could sell it for a decent amount of money. Double Illumina on Celeste there. Love to see it.
That is a very odd-looking Shiva sprite.
Yeah, some of the sprites with the palette recolor become a bit interesting. We'll just say
is this
that.
Ultros 4?
That is correct. This is Ultros and Chupon. Also known as just Ultros right now. And it looks like Strago naturally learned Merton. So that's going to be awesome for Jexvarok, because I don't recall seeing that on any of the Espers we found thus far. Unless that's on the one from the sky. But I don't think it was.
They all started from Strago, so hopefully they'll all sort of hit that Merton eventually. And Knuckly Kong is walking back to the airship at the beginning of the cave. So done with Edgar's checks. Okay, Jesus Frog is through Burning House now and through that doll hand. And Jex has got sneezed away.
Oh, and there's another character at the end of the Burning House here, too. Let's see who it is after this cutscene. Setzer action. Okay, so we can get that Search the Skies spot done if we
And
go through
those
the Burning
fixed
House.
dice can be equipped.
There you go. Unfortunately, only Drinks Glue has found the treasure trove at Nikea, taking care of business right there and picking up the Genji glove that we saw over on Jexferox's screen. And uh-oh, math incoming. Can we pass our level check here? Jexferox is fine.
But yeah, this is a very interesting seed you got here because it's sort of like we now have 3 separate character paths to follow.
Yeah, because we found Gao at the Opera House, right? We found Cyan at
Ancient Castle or
the engine room.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Setzer at Casa del Fuego. So we'll see how our seed continues to branch for our runners here.
Definitely not a linear one because this has like a lot of divergence going on right now. At least let's hope it continues because that'll be interesting.
As I would have anticipated, Knuckle Kong immediately heads over to Cyan's Dream to power up his Edgar to full. And that's Shadow there in the Culligan, ready for hire.
Okay, yeah, so that puts Jesus Frog pretty far up as far as the character checks. And we do know there's plenty more Espers out there. Jex is doing full Magitech facility, looks like, as is Glue. Glue caught up pretty quickly.
I'm trying to figure out why Knuckle Kong's audio is so far behind. Sorry.
Okay, I was just going to say that he is getting to fight some fish instead of some stooges.
Alright, it's still a little bit behind. I'll work on that. Meanwhile, we've got a minecart ride for the bottom half. This will be a guaranteed piece of progression here.
They started nearly the same time, so it's technically a minecart race.
A Mario Kart race? One could only hope. Alright, remember, Jesus the Frog knows that this is Gigantos, so he's going to go head back in there once again.
Looks like he took Setzer off the team, so he's using Shadow and... I'm sorry, he took Strago off the team. So now has Setzer and Shadow on the team instead. That was Modwin at the Stooges spot.
Nice. Ooh, this is not a fun fight here on the minecart. Little tap dancer covert action.
I just missed what was on that Modwin, but he handed it off to Edgar.
All right, Jesus the Frog, knowing that that Gigantos is vulnerable to instant death, is going to pull out the X Zone. Meanwhile, it's Merton time for Jexferox. Remember, he picked up a out-of-the-way ice shield to go along with the other ice shield, and I think you said there was a Minerva somewhere?
I didn't notice that myself, but it is interesting. Jex is still the only one on 3 characters.
Yeah, so he's jumping with Celeste, and jump is Merton protection. Because if your character's up in the air, they're not getting hit with Merton, right?
Yeah, and Glue is already pulled ahead and gotten through the facility. That's Magicite Alexander, good find. And just a Flame Eater.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any ice magic in this seed. Remember, we can only learn fire. Thankfully, we've got Gao with shock, and then we could use our sword tech to cut through the high defense. Oh, and we got double Illumina too. So Galoo is just cutting everything down right in front of him here. Not a surprise. He is leapfrogged ahead of Jex Farok on this check.
Jesus Frog is doing the Veld Cave, one of Shadow's checks. You'll be able to peek what you actually get out of this. So it'll be interesting if it's not. But if it's not an Esper character, I imagine he'll just warp out or reset.
Yeah, we don't really want to increase scaling here. The skip is at 8 characters, right? And 12 Espers and 23 checks.
22 checks.
22 checks.
That's
that's an imp that's been left out in the sky of the sun for too long.
Yeah, so as he warped out like we thought. Air Force at the I believe this is Rexel spot.
Yeah, launcher is not fun. And yeah, I apologize, chat. This audio is just all over the place. It was synced, and now it's not synced anymore. So
Who is taking on a dragon?
Trying to get that set up for you guys and girls here.
And which dragon is it? Oh, it's just a dirt dragon.
Little vanilla action at the Opera House there. Meanwhile, Jesus the Frog, having access to Setzer, is allowed to do the Search the Skies command on the airship, so that's what he's doing here in order to combat Ultros, and he's going to pick up an Esper, I believe, right? That was an Esper at this spot as well?
I think so.
Cancel
and
game audio? You guys want
Toronto...
game
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Toronto was the Esper reward for beating Rexel, or the Rexel spot.
Nice. Yeah, I could do game ASMR. I don't know if anyone else would like that.
Who got an economizer for beating that dirt dragon?
Ooh. Is he uncursing the shield? I don't think he is. I think only Knuckly is the one doing that. You guys want me to whistle for Cyan's dream? Dun-dun-dun.
And the throne room was Golem.
Wow.
So that was a very high-paying Doma dream.
Yeah, so Knuckly Kong got 3 Espers out of that, I believe.
Yeah, and some really good ones.
And Sword Tech online. Another economizer there from Jesus the Frog at Gao Manor. And Jex Farok is heading into the other Opera House, the World of Balance Opera House, where he will get his 4th character finally.
Yeah, so I'm really liking what Knuckly Kong did, getting that Cyan through the Ancient Castle. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone else pursues Ancient Castle or not.
Yep, I am notorious for fading Ancient Castle, and it came back to bite me in my official race, as that was where I last locationed my final character.
And I think Glue does not have Cyan, but this is the Zozo Dragon. It is the Ice Dragon here. So definitely made use of the Wyvern move to get through that rusty door.
Yeah, it looks like that is his plan now. It's let me go attack the dragons because I can one-shot them with Celeste with dual Atmas. Or dual Illuminas, rather.
So if he's dragon hunting, is he going to go to Ancient Castle and find that Cyan? Oh, Marvel Shoes, your favorite.
No. Throw that back to the dragon. Thank you. I guess they sell for 14K, right? Put that money towards the Illuminas, right?
Yeah, there you go. If you just don't like the thing, sell it.
Oh, hey. It's a Yeti. So that's character number 5 there for Drinks Glue.
Now the question is Glue going to put the Yeti on the team, because he has done that before.
That is true. That is true. I shouldn't have laughed. There are no dumb questions, especially when Drinks Glue is involved. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I would suspect not, because his team is pretty well stacked right now.
We can always ask after at the end if he wants an interview if he was tempted at all to put the Yeti in.
And much like the bottom two runners were in Magitech Factory at the same time, now it's the top two runners' turn. So I think this is a Genji Glove and then 2 Espers, right, for Magitech Factory. So both of our top runners will come out of this with some shiny stones. I won't whistle into the microphone. I know how that sounds, listening back to it. It's not pretty.
Okay, so we do know 7 characters already. So in theory, if everyone just goes and starts covering the checks that were already done, someone would have all 7 characters. Because the ones we found were Cyan, Gao, Setzer, and Shadow. And
That's
with
right.
the starting 3, so we do have like sort of knowledge about where there's 7 characters. But the question is anyone going to path into finding the same 7?
Yeah, so the things that we have not checked between all of our runners, we haven't done floating continent at all. Drinksklu did not have dried meat when he picked up Gao the first time around. Jexvarok will pick up Gao here at the end of the Opera House. And there's still Cyan's Doma Siege check, as well as Setzer's Daryl's Tomb check. And then there's the Strago stuff, which we have Ebbett's Rock and Fanatic's Tower. So still got a lot of check options open for an 8th character for Kefka Tower skip.
Did we see Gao's father's check yet?
It was an economizer.
Okay, yeah, and but Shadow follows from Setzer, who is at Burning House. Gao is at Opera House, and so yeah, each of the starting characters gated one of the other characters so far.
3rd dragon there for Glue, and I think he'll continue up to the Tritok spot. And since he has Umaro, this is actually kind of perfect for his Dragons plan right here, Joker Mage.
Yeah, I mean, he can just go right in and finish up all of Umaro's checks and possibly get some reward out of that.
Double kill.
Oh, that's a shame. Is it? Wait, this Doomgaze is the budget
It's
Magimaster stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if Jesus the Frog has his levels at the correct spot here.
We do have budget Inferno at the Tritok spot. Yeah, that wasn't going to be any kind of threat to Glue.
And here we go. Jesus the Frog passes his level check. Oof. The hole is getting bigger here for Knuckly Kong, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to like get some extra, like an extra level or 2, just so you can have your full team. Because going in against Doomgaze with just like a single character is very risky.
Yeah, because if that Doom doesn't miss like it just did on Edgar, then it could be a problem.
And he has other things he can do to just... Oh, well, luckily Knuckly Kong is through. That was well played then. Surviving with just, I guess, throwing fire at it from Edgar.
Hey.
Are you
There
right?
you go. There's the singing for tonight's stream.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a second. Anyway, here's the Umaro check. What do we got? Magicite.
Nice.
Seraphim. Cool.
Yeah, so I think that'll be Glue's 6th when he's done with this fight here. Yeah, so in spite of the fact that Knuckly Kong had basically half his party dead at the beginning of this fight, his Doomgaze lasted a lot shorter than Jesus the Frog's did, I believe. That is what happens when you throw rods at things. Ooh!
Yeah.
Osmos and Ultima on that Golem. Wow. That is huge there. Where was that Golem?
That Golem was Throne Room of Doma.
Yes. I was like, I know it's somewhere that none of the other runners have access to yet. I just wasn't sure where.
And it looks like Jex is preparing to do the belt check, because it looks like he got Gao and then started messing around with his party. Might be trying to find some dried meat at some shops.
Yeah, that's one of the things about the Velt check is if you don't have your meat, how are you going to eat meat pudding? No, you can't get Gao's reward there. Drinks Glue, meanwhile, getting past this check here at Umaro's cave.
Yeah, that was just hiding at Umaro cave for the Magicite Seraphim.
Yeah, so he's got 6 shiny stones tied up with Knuckly Kong, and he also has 3 dragons, which is the most on the board thus far. Unfortunately for Jex, he's got Gigantos on the Velt, and the Velt doesn't reward any XP. Womp, womp, womp.
He got through that real quick, and there's Terra.
Okay. That's yet another different character. So each one of our 4 runners here, Joker Mage, has a different character in their party than the other 4. It's pretty nuts.
But it looks like Blue is preparing to go up the Fanatics Tower, so possibly he's going to skip the Injured Room in Ancient Castle Dragon instead, which means we'll not find that Scion.
What was at the bottom of Fanatics Tower? Because Glue is heading up it.
Yeah, I think he's dragon hunting.
Okay.
But it was just a soldier at the bottom.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he does. They stall certain Strego, so he's definitely. But I'm pretty sure he's just getting 4th dragon.
Makes total sense here.
It is, faster to probably just go up these stairs and do the whole Ancient Castle check.
Yeah, at this point, right, if you didn't do Ancient Castle, you're probably not thinking about it. And this plot here is a guaranteed piece of progression at the bottom. Plus, it is 22 checks, right, for Skip.
Oh, I think he's going all the way, and then going to get the dragon on the way down, probably.
Yeah, well, the problem is if this boss is, let's say, Ifrit or something like that, right? Something where we don't have the magic to take it out, or let's, God forbid, Magi Master, right? Then it could be a problem. I didn't see what Terra had, but we'll probably find out because Terra is in Jexy's party right now. And we'll see what boss is up here for Drinks Glue.
There's just been a lot of divergence, and that's kind of got me really happy. Oh, you cursed him! You jinxed it.
I did. I'm sorry. Thankfully, multi-summon is on, so we can just use Bahamut a few times and be done with it. But yes, I am sorry, Glue. I totally did not name this boss to be at the top here.
Jex is doing the Serpent Trend, so might find some fun stuff at Nakia.
Oh yeah, especially now that he's got Terra in the team as well. So he has 3 Illumina users, whereas Glue only has 2 in his party.
I'm not sure. It looks like he actually took Celeste out, though. Oh, no, Celeste is there, so I'm guessing he took Gao out then?
Yeah, so Shock Gao is going to be very good for some of the seed, but Shock tends to tail off more towards the end of the seed because it does split damage, and you're better off using boss weaknesses and or high battle power items there.
We got simultaneous Flame Eater fights at the end of Magitech facility for our top 3 runners, and Glue did get through that Ifrit. Yeah,
so he'll get his Esper at the bottom of Fanatics here, and we'll see what this 4th dragon is. So he'll get Safe and Haste. Haste will be really nice, especially for if he is going to be getting the Dragoon set, although I don't think he is. I think if I were him, I'd just be like, hey, how many times can I buy an Illumina, please? Thank you.
Did any of them find any offerings?
Yes, we found an offering somewhere because I know Galoo sold it to get his Illumina.
Ah, okay.
I don't know where it was, though. It could have been in a chest or it could have been as a reward, because remember, the rewards in the Poltergeist's Fury flag set are those high-end relics.
Yeah, and Glue is just spamming out those Esper summons.
Yeah, unfortunately, with no access to Bolt Magic, we can't take advantage of the weakness of the Blue Durgan here. Simultaneous Flame Eaters go pop. Yeah, question from the chat. How come I don't see a lot of runners checking the hidden room in Fanatic's Tower? At this point in your run, you don't really need chests, right? And it does take time because you have to go into another room with another chest. You have to hit a button, wait for the switch to flip, and then run downstairs and then run into another room. Every screen transition is at least like 1.5 or 2 seconds as it goes from one to another. So it tends to build up over time. And at this point in the race, we're about 45 minutes in. I don't think we're looking for anything in chests at this point.
Jesus the Frog is going to Daryl's tomb, it looks like. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, so this will be new 411 on our side, and that is auto haste and auto safe there for Drinks Glue getting his 4th dragon out of the way.
Yeah, and unfortunately that means there's no incentive for him to go and find that sign now.
Well, we might be required to get Cyan to finish the seed. I don't think so, though, right? Because Terra is at Velt. So
yeah, Terra's at Velt. So
that would be his 6th character, and then where would his 7th character be? That would be the question. Burning House? I guess.
Yeah, Burning House Setzer.
Ugh. Gem Box is the reward for washing up on shore, and Bismarck is the follower at the bottom of the tower here, and Jexfarok is going to run into the goodies after doing all those fights. Unfortunately, buying a couple of hyper risks is going to cut into his bottom line for the incredible swords that he's going to be finding soon. And we got another new check from Knuckly Kong. Oh boy!
There he is. There's our friend.
Yep. I think that he has Berserk on one of his Espers, but I don't remember if it was him or if it was someone else.
Blue's also showing us something new. This is Ebbitt's Rock. Okay, let's see what's going on here at Del's tomb. It's just Kefka.
Where is
Kefka's,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Kefka was just waiting in the tomb for creepy reasons.
Where was the experience egg? Fantastodon points it out in chat. I completely missed it.
Yeah, I did not see that either.
Was it Jesus in Daryl's tomb?
It's possible. I mean, he is going for this, taking on this Kefka, so he's probably, like, I imagine if he didn't want the reward, he would have reset out.
All right, so Knuckly Kong is heading into the Opera House disruption, and I'm looking at his tracker here, and no, he could still do Strago stuff. Never mind. So, oh, it was Drinks Glue from the Dragon reward in Fanatic's Tower. Thank you so much, chat. A little late for that, but hey, we'll take it. It's better than nothing, right?
Okay, at the end of Ebbitt's Rock, there's just a ghost train.
And Tritalk is the reward for Jesus the Frog at the end of Daryl's tomb. So that is his 6th Esper. Unfortunately, I think Glue is the only one who has Umaro at this point. Yeah, it looks like he was just looking for a heal in the bucket. But he's going to go peep a dragon and possibly get another Esper at Tritalk.
And that Maru actually came out of a sign check that didn't require science, so that's interesting. Because that was Mount Zozo, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's possible Knuckly could do like a normal Mount Zozo and Also find that Umaro.
Esper at the end of RNG Cave, Ebbets Rock, that is Shiva. And Drinks Glue is going to get a 6th character here, assuming that he goes through the Burning House. Is that all he has left? Let's take a look at his tracker. He's got Velt, he's got Edgar stuff, and he's got Burning House without sequence breaking, so...
Oh, yeah, that's... I don't know. What would you choose to do in his position? Because it looks like he might be doing Burning House.
Yeah. Oh, there's the dried meat, so he might change his mind now. Yep.
Never mind.
That is the right play there.
Absolutely.
All right. Jex Rock taking out the Skull Durgan there with those Illuminas.
Yeah, and Jesus is not too far behind, but Nuckley is going to find Gao.
Yeah, we do have access to YNPC remove. The thing is, we've also had a pretty robust set of characters with some pretty favorable checks. So it's not high on the priority list unless you were like, hey, I want to get my auto haste and auto save for doing my 4 dragons.
Which is what Glue did.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Knuckly Kong is going to be chucking some rods here at the Chad. Jex getting Bahamut?
Yeah, I don't think Jex or Jesus have Umaro, do they?
They do not, know. Because that was Mount Zozo.
And
neither one of them did that sequence break.
It was Seraphim, right? That was at Umaro's cave? Or am I mistaken about that?
I don't remember which Esper it was. I just remember it was an Esper. Meanwhile, Glue is doing his Velt. So you can do the Velt check in the World of Ruin, as Drinks Glue is showcasing for us here. Most runners decide to do it in the World of Balance, because then you can quickly combo it into the Serpent Trench, but if you're already in the World of Ruin and you already did the Serpent Trench, you can do it in the World of Ruin.
So, do you think Glue is going to start doing Terra checks now that he found Terra?
Absolutely. Because
what Terra check would you start with?
In Worlds... Oh, Terra has Throw, too. I didn't even see that. So in Worlds Collide, seeds are deeper than they are wide, right? So every character you recruit, there is a higher possibility of finding additional characters underneath that character because it allows the tree to grow and grow and grow versus, characters getting from the already existing characters and make the seed very wide, right?
Although I would say that this is probably one of the wider seeds I've seen.
So, you asked me a question, I didn't give you an answer, so now I'll give you an answer. I would actually go to Zozo Tower here, and I would go Y NPC remove the boss and get the reward at the top, because Glue's levels are already level 40, so he doesn't need to fight the boss for a lot of levels, he just needs the rewards to get in the tower at this point.
It looks like that was Siren at the Wealth Gate.
Yep. So that's Esper number 7 there for Jex Rock. He's continuing onwards to the top of the tower, and it looks like Knuckly Kong got through Chatternook finally. Almost died there. Only had one character left, and finally got Gao.
It looks like he is also preparing to do some Velt checks.
Yeah, this makes sense for him, as he does have the dried meat. And he will also find Terra. So quickly, he's going to have 6 characters and 7 Espers. So he'll be caught up with the rest of the crew. Not that he was behind, but he was.
I think he's
lacking in characters for a while there.
Yeah, I think Jex is probably the one who's spent a lot of time on 3 characters, unfortunately. But we are getting some more parity. I think Glue is currently ahead just in both counts and in Dragons.
Yeah, he's got the levels advantage and the progression advantage. Knuckly Kong, unfortunately, getting this bad formation. You cannot get the Gao reward in a back attack or a side attack or a pincer attack. It has to be a straight up fight.
This is, kind of gross for Kefka and Narsh.
Yeah, oh yeah. Especially at this high level, Atma is not a joke.
Also, I didn't see what the actual reward for it is, but hopefully, Jex is taking it, so it looks like it might actually have some value. And the Glue got the Marvel shoes for you.
Yeah, so he's at 21 checks, so that's why he's hedging his bet with the Marvel shoes. Going to pick up that as an easy way to pick up checks. Once you get past 20 checks, you're at max scaling for the enemies, so there's no reason not to pick up some more checks there. Jesus the Frog is at 13, Knuckly Kong is at 12, and Jex Rock is at 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 checks.
Okay, so where is Glue going to find character 7?
Well, we have a couple things we could peek. World of Balance, World of Ruin Mobilis is a place we can go peek.
Yeah,
so it looks like he's going to do that now. I don't know if we've seen this yet.
No, we haven't. Yeah, the only other person with Terra as Jex, I think, and now Knuckly as well.
All right, what's Kefka at Norsh? It is Esper number 8 there. Ooh, okay. Sorry, little girl. We're definitely going to take Realm away here, and that'll be go mode for Drinks Glue. But he will be at 22 checks, which is skip, right? 22 and not 23?
Yeah, 22 is going to be skip. That's probably, again, why he went and got your Marvel shoes for you.
Yeah, I guess it's fine. All right, so Knuckly heading on through the Serpent Trench here. We'll get their dead check at the end of this with the gem box. But I think he's going to be pretty happy to find those Illuminas at the end.
As long as he remembers his check the shops.
Yeah, you're right there. You might as well just pass by. It's not like a treasure chest where you have a random chance of getting something. You have a list of a bunch of stuff you could potentially get, right?
Jex is also going to get Realm shortly.
Yeah, so that'll be his 6th character.
Ooh, and that's Rexol.
Hey! He was just in our chat a little while ago, and now he's in the game.
And we got flying bunnies on Jesus' side. I'm assuming this is floating continent stuff.
Yes. I like this play here from Jesus the Frog. You need both Espers and characters. Floating continent is guaranteed to have 2 pieces of progression here. So no dead checks for him.
What are the chances we end up finding all 14 characters?
Very low.
Do you think there's enough here that there's going to be some doubling up?
Yeah, so we have not found Sabin, Locke,
Go-Go.
Go-Go.
That might be... I think that might be it. I think it might just be those 3 we haven't seen yet.
Let's see. Locke. No, we haven't seen Mog yet. So
Mog.
4.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's 4 characters that are outstanding. We probably will not see that because the only new pieces of information we're going to get here is from Jesus the Frog, right? From doing Floating Continent, and that's at most 2 characters.
Well, Jex is still down 1 character, so we might see some of Realm's checks on Jex's side.
That is true. So where can our characters come from is a better question, right? They can come from one of Terra's checks or one of Realm's checks, because we basically have seen everybody else's checks at this point.
Yeah, we've even seen Kefka at Narsh, so that's usually one that doesn't get shown a lot, or at least held off on.
Jexrock did Kefka at Norsh when he did
yeah.
Spot. Alright, so Drinks Glue heading into the tower first here. Heading up to the statues, so we'll see what his game plan is. Remember, the statues are shuffled in their vanilla spots, so we're going to fight Poltergeist, Doom, and Goddess. And they will be level 50, because we're over 20 checks. Jexvarok, meanwhile, picking up his realm. And can easily just turn around and do a realm check, as you mentioned.
Knuckly Kong's still on 6 characters, so we'll still have to explore some bit. Yeah, and we'll definitely have to see what's going... Like, for all we know, 2 of the characters could be here on Floating Continent.
Well, there's Sabin. So we at least know where, 11 of our characters are this seed. And that'll be Jexvarok's character go mode there.
We have the other Atma here at Guardian Spot, I believe.
Yeah, so Kefka's Tower is going to have all of the same battle music for the bosses. Right? Because it's going to be the statues plus this one for Atma. Not every day you see that. Ooh, and Drinks Glue takes a Grand Train to the face. The good thing about that is if he has a lore user, which I'm not quite sure which one of the characters has lore. I know one of them does.
So the martial fight we're seeing is what happens when you fall off the airship, and he brought some Tyrannosaurs with him.
Alright, so Jexvarok picking up Sabin. So he's at 7 characters. He just needs to find one more piece of Magicite.
And there's plenty out there. We've seen quite a bit. And there's one right now.
Number 8 there for Jesus the Frog.
Vanilla Poltergeist. How appropriate.
Alright, and Jexvarok, meanwhile, is heading over to Imperial Camp, it looks like, so this will be some new information for us. This is a peekable check. We can see what the reward is after the first battle, and oh! It's Katana Soul for Jesus the Frog, and he's got Muddle. So this should be a relatively straightforward fight here.
Watch the Imperial Camp have Mog.
Knuckly Kong, unfortunately, cannot buy his way out of this seed for an Esper there. And Jesus the Frog taking advantage of the weakness to Muddle on Katana Soul.
That Poltergeist is unfortunately being really nasty to glue.
What's going on, Game Dungeon? Yeah, so Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide is an open world randomizer, and if you want to get started, there is a link to our Discord right there in the chat. We're a pretty friendly, welcoming community, so come at it and ask us questions about how to get started, and we will try to answer them as best as possible for you. Drinks Glue, meanwhile, just barely squeaking by that Poltergeist fight. Had 2 characters dead and one with 300 HP. Jexvarok, meanwhile, finding a merchant sprite, so this is not going to be a character here at Imperial Camp.
And Knuckly Kong, I think, is doing the Mount Zozo check, so we might find Umaro at the end of this.
Yeah, which hopefully will give him incentive to go up and do those 2 checks, right? That will give him his last 2 espers for go mode.
Everyone else is still also only on 1 dragon, so far Glue has been the only one who proactively hunted some dragons. Ooh, tunnel armor, that's a huge threat. I don't know if Jesus Fog is going to get through this.
He'll be okay, I think. I hope. Yeah, if you're not a Discord user, ff6worldscollide.com is the website where you can roll seeds, and it's got some wikis on there to help get you started as well. So go check that out.
So Jex did get Kieran from Imperial Camp, and that is his final Kefka unlock.
All right, so he'll be the second into Kefka's Tower. I don't think he's got enough for Skip. Let's see. Yeah, he's only got like 15 or so checks, according to my count.
Wow, okay.
A little shy of our requirements. Meanwhile, Jesus the Frog picking up Esper number 9 here, so he's really hoping for a character at the end of the floating continent. And remember, it's going to be either a character or an Esper here at the end of this check. Jack's buying some last-minute Illuminas before getting in the tower as well. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, triple Esper here would be kind of unfortunate for Jesus.
Well, do remember that we do get a Kefka Tower skip at 12 Espers. So that would... It wouldn't be great, but it would help him out.
Yeah, Glue has a really commanding lead. He was doing pretty well to start with, and it's, I think he only has 1 statue left at this point.
Yeah, so the last statue he has left is Goddess. And he's going to use the Genji Glove Celeste in this fight here. Oh, I guess not. I think he was looking to use Merton, perhaps.
Jex did a reset. I didn't see what he was resetting, though.
I think he was buying Illumina's mate. Oh, he was looking for his 8th character for Skip. That's what I think it was. He does not have... Yeah, because he does not have Skip.
Knuckly Kong finds number 7 in Umaro.
Yeah, I would have at least went to Phantom Train as well to look for an 8th character for Skip. All right, so Drinks Glue is our first runner on the statues before Final Kefka here. Just leaving everybody in the dust, this particular seed, it seems.
Yeah, it feels like Drinks Glue managed to get some early levels and a few other things that just help power through this a lot faster. There was that we saw him pull ahead of Jex in I think in Magitech facility, and that was largely just due to the power difference between their 2 teams.
Yeah, I think getting to Gao early and getting those Illuminas early certainly helped break open the seed for him. Speaking of break, the long arm's susceptible to break here on tier 1, so that's that one finished. And then we do have a little bit of fire magic, so we could use that on the head in order to take it down first so that we don't get a death counter of Quake. Meanwhile, Knuckly Kong there finishing up another dragon for him. So that's actually his third dragon. As he's looking to power himself up.
Well, the economizer will help.
Yeah, he needs espers, though. He's got 2 more that he's got to go get.
And it looks like Jesus did, in fact, get Esper 10 off of the final floating continent check.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. But if he goes into Ebbett's Rock here, he will find... No, he doesn't get a character for Ebbett's Rock, right?
No, it's an Esper at Ebbett's Rock, I think.
That's right. Jexarock, meanwhile, find an experience egg in Kefka's Tower. A bit late for that as well. Quite unfortunate. Glue is already on tier number 2 here. Just absolutely cruising with the levels of his characters. Having access to instant death and mute via Siren will allow him to get past this rather quickly. Genji Glove double sniper offering there for Jesus the Frog. That is the build that he's going with for Edgar. It feels bad because Jesus the Frog didn't find Gao or Cyan. Remember, Cyan would have powered up his Edgar to use Sword Tech 8, or Gao would have found the Illuminas in World of Balance and IKEA to also power up Edgar. So Edgar had a lot of different viable paths in this seed here.
Okay, so this will be the last dragon Knuckly needs for his haste, right?
Yes, he will get auto-safe and auto-haste after this dragon, but more importantly, he's going to get his last 2 Espers at the top of Nourish here. Meanwhile, Jesus the Frog just needs a breather. He's going to take on a different dragon. This is the Dirt Dragon, and Jexarock giving us the Inferno spot, which is our Dabbing Yeti himself. Ooh, juicy sniper procs there from Jesus the Frog. Look at that. Love to see it. Probably the most satisfying attack in the game, in my opinion.
Bahamut has gotten a lot of play this seed.
5 HP and a condemned counter for Gao, but he does survive there. And that'll be 4 dragons for Knuckly Kong. And that's the second dragon down for Jesus the Frog.
That's his economizer too, which should help.
Alright, Jesus the Frog is going to take a peek here, and he's going to like what he sees.
Got tier 3 on Glue side.
Because Jesus the Frog is going to see Cyan here. And then he's going to do the same thing that I do. Every time I fade Edgar checks and it's the right call, he's going to get mad at himself and start cursing.
Is Jesus the Frog still on 5 characters?
That is correct. That is not a typo.
I mean, hopefully the Cyan can push him towards, like, Mount Zozo or something.
Yeah, Mount Zozo is where Umaro is, and that'll be his 7th character. Otherwise, he's got to go to Opera House for Gao. And
Burning House for Setzer.
I think he has Setzer.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah,
yeah, he has Setzer. Yeah, so a bit unfortunate for him is that he chose... Remember how all of our runners had different characters at the beginning of the seed? He chose the character that ran out of other character checks at one point, right? If you chose Gao, he got you Terra, which extended the seed. And if you got... yeah, because Umaro doesn't extend the seed, so... He's the one singular focus. So even though it was pretty open-ended early on, it kind of narrowed to a point after a while for us, unfortunately, here. Meanwhile, this is Final Kefka for Drinks Glue. We haven't really been talking about it because it's been a pretty straightforward affair for him.
Yeah, he's just like power overwhelming through this.
And with all the Illuminas he has, he didn't really need the calmness protection.
And shocking Kefka, because why not? Oh, that's going to hurt.
Big damage coming out from Glue now. He'll probably skip the Fallen One right into a Hyperdrive or Havoc Wing counter.
And I think at this point, Knuckly knows that he just needs to get through this hide and fight to have go mode.
That should do it, actually. Yes! Get your GGs in chat for Drinks Glue.
That looks
Holy
like
cow.
1 hour 14:20, maybe around that time.
1:14:28 is the official time.
Yeah, and it's exactly like you said. That those early Illuminas really just like let him power through quite a bit of this. I think he also prioritized the dragons much earlier than anyone else did. Knuckly Kong is through, will likely, I believe, have go mode after this.
That is correct, as Jesus the Frog finally gets his 6th character there.
Jex is taking on the vanilla poltergeist at the moment. And I think we have been joined by Drinks Glue. GG.
GG, JM.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a crazy one there. You ended up going Opera House first, getting Gao, and then not having the dried meat, you went through the Serpent Trench and found the veritable treasure trove of goodies that was waiting for you at the World of Balance and IKEA shop there.
That was probably a top 5 all-time Nikia, and I didn't even touch the fixed ice.
Yeah, because it had goodies in the relic shop, it had goodies in the armor shop, and it had goodies in the weapon shop there.
Yeah, well, before I had that, my plan was to go buy more fire rods, and then you know, that was no bueno after seeing what they had to offer. So thanks, change.
Yeah, it certainly helped that you found a cat hood early on, which allowed for all of the XP from all of the fights to allow you to buy those Illuminas there. Tell us a little bit about your strategy for this flag set. It seemed that you focused a lot on dragon checks in order to get your auto safe and auto haste.
Yeah, because your item rewards for your checks are all relics, and I mean, experience eggs are great, Genji gloves are great, offerings are great, but they're only part of the equation, and you're really dependent on having the other half of the equation. So if you don't have the equipment, you might as well get the levels. So that was why I had kind of started working in that dragon phase. I started with the opera and worked my way up the left side of the map, and that was my plan all along. It was actually stupid dumb luck to run into Yumaro when I was going to World of Ruin Narsh next anyways. So that was incredibly fortunate that he's waiting on top of Mount Zozo. Once I was actually going to go I was going to go to Auction House next. I mean, not Auction House, Coliseum next, but I figured, you know, that's more reasons just to get going, because maybe my character's back there and not at the belt. And I don't think I checked the item shop in Nikia. and so maybe dried meat was there, but I was gonna do burning house until I saw dried meat in Thamasa, and then Terra figured out the rest for me.
Yeah, we were debating where exactly we were going, and we're like, oh, as soon as Glue finds this dried meat, he's out.
Yeah,
do
I
you want to
really
know?
didn't.
I was just going to. Do you want to know how much divergence there is in this?
How much?
You didn't check the burning house, right?
I did not.
That was Setzer at the end.
Of course
You
it
didn't
was.
check. You didn't check the Figaro Castle engine, did you?
No, I did not go
That
underground.
was Cyan.
Oh, of course.
And then Setzer also led to Shadow at Klingon, and I think Cyan. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously Umaro, but you could just get through that with skip or with the remove. I mean,
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to power Edgar up through this seed. If you did the Coliseum, you got an Aura Lance, Boots, and Horn. If you did Nike, you got Illuminas, or if you found Cyan, you got Sword Tech 8, basically.
I almost messed up really bad because if the Guardians, well, I would have just had to take the counters, but I was at level 43, and he gets Sword Tech 7 level 44. So luckily I didn't send Edgar by himself. I sent Gal with him. I don't even think I was originally planning to. I think I just did it on accident. Or actually, I had said I'm not sure he has Sword Tech 7 yet or not because I checked maybe 2 or 3 minutes prior, and he still didn't have it. So I said, well, just in case, I'm going to put him with Gal. Just so Gal can shock the first boss, and then luckily that first box gave experience, and then he got Sword Tech 7, and he's doing 20k a turn now.
Yeah, he also helped out a lot. I don't know if it was him in that fight, but you had a scary poltergeist fight there where you were down to one character in triple-digit HP, pulling out the showstopper there.
Oh, that was the same way in the Doom fight too. Luckily, Doom or Terra's and Lumina's blocked some of the physical attacks, so he couldn't really kill her. But it's okay if he does. You just turn around and do it again.
Yeah, so with the very heavy scaling that's involved in these flag sets, your mantra was let's go and do some forced encounter checks in order to drive up my scaling there, and it certainly did pay off in this seed, rewarding you with Gao. Did you ever feel overmatched at any point throughout this particular seed?
Not at all, because unlike last night when I had to do 1,000,000 fixed encounters, the Opera House had the double behemoths and the I forget the other encounter, but it also gave very good XP. So I went and searched out all the rats and did a little pest control. And then
little Charlie work.
Yeah, because after that, I left the Opera House at 22, and that was the rest of it. And then Gal had shot. Gal didn't even need earrings because that was so much over the scaling that the rest of it was fine. It was just find your characters, find your espers, and figure out the rest later.
Okay, it looks like Jesus Frog did finally get the Morrow, which was the last character he needed, so he's headed into the tower right now. And Jex had a reset on Doom, I think, and so this is round 2 against Doom.
Yeah, this is not the right party for this fight, unfortunately. If he had one of his Illumina wielders in this fight, it would be much better off. I think Jesus the Frog, he's at 21 checks, so he'll probably get to 22 checks. Was that your goal for Skip Glue with your looking at the requirements beforehand?
Yes and no, because you only need 8 characters for Skip, so that's a very reasonable amount to come across just by accident. Or you can easily have a seed where you could 8 characters before you find 3 or 4 espers. So I was hoping to get it that way because that's a little faster than doing 22 checks. But then when you take into account all the dragons and how fast everything was going, it didn't matter. So that's why I did my dragon pathway, and it was just whatever's next and whatever's fastest. Especially after I found Doomgaze, wherever I found them. I think in Magic Deck.
Yeah.
Because then that was the last scary thing that could. That was the only thing that could stop me until I got to the statue. So it was just full speed ahead.
Well, there was Magimaster at Dome of Siege that you skipped out. You missed out on not getting Cyan, but
I was a little. I wasn't as worried because Shock would eat through them. It would take a while, but it may even take a reset. But Shock would have took him down eventually.
Joker Mage, you got any other questions for our resident dog here?
I think I did, but I got distracted by Jex's fight because he did get through that doom. So, sorry, I definitely there was something I wanted to ask about. Oh, I'll probably just remember it like tomorrow or something, and then ask you later about it. But all in all, it was a great seed or a great run. I think in total we saw 11 of the 14 characters, so there was definitely plenty of divergence. And your path, with those ultimas just cutting through the dragons too, I think really propelled you. And you're already done, and we haven't had anyone else even get to the Kefka fight yet.
Well, we do have Honeydew running off stream, and it's very possible he's in that neighborhood, if not there already. Let me see. Nope, he actually just finished, so he finished with the 124.56, which is very impressive.
GG's, Honey.
Yeah, Honeydew's a very talented racer.
Yeah, and this was a race right after his official race too. Like no break, just right into it.
Got that dog in him.
You know it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys for hosting us. We appreciate it. Can I plug one thing, or can I plug 3 things?
Yeah, you can plug as many plugs as you want, Mr. Plumber there.
Oh, thank you. Let's start with number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, we are going to... hopefully somebody will take the hint and plug the Discord. Join our Discord. We have a great community. Final Fantasy VI World Collide is a very fun game. If you've ever worried about the skill gap between getting into it and the players you see on stream going hard because they got that dog in them, have no fear. We do have a mentor program that will help you get up and running and up the whatever skill level you want to get to. If you just want to get familiar and play a couple casual seeds on your own and experiment, we were happy to help you do that. If you want to learn how to get into racing and just overall get better or get started, we will happily help you get started with that as well. Whatever your heart desire, we'd love to have you.
Yep, thank you so much, Drinks Glue, for being part of the mentor program. And I'm actually looking forward to the finals of the Tag Team Championship, which will be going on, next week? I think is when you'll do it.
That starts Saturday. We got Christopher Workin and Honeydew. Honeydew off stream, Christopher Workin, your bottom right. Christopher Workin is a graduate of our mentor program, and he's coming along really well. Jesus the Frog is a very talented randomizer player. He plays a lot of Final Fantasy 1 randomizer. I think I've seen him in the Free Enterprise Discord before. He has a very robust palette for RPGs, and you can see right now he's going neck and neck with Christopher Workin already. Christopher Workin's been putting the work in. Jack Rocks as well. Compare them right now. Jack Rocks been around Worlds Collide since the beginning, and Christopher Workin's right on his tail. So, Christopher Workin, Honeydew. We also got the team of Falcon Hit and Keith McRocks. Great team right there. Keith is, top 2 in the community, and Falcon Hit is Falcon Hit. We got myself and Pero. Yeah. And we got one other guy and some other dude. I forget who they are. Do you remember who they are?
I was eliminated, so then I stopped paying attention.
I thought it was you.
No, it was not me.
Oh my god, I better figure this out.
Me and Lanksy, and unfortunately, we were in the running for a while, but just some of the later times came in and smoked us a bit. So
I better figure this out, or else I'm running a crooked event.
Yeah, okay, don't show any nepotism there. That would be bad.
I apologize. It's Gar and Possum Morpheus, the final 2.
There we go.
So, a lot on the line.
That shall be named later.
A lot on the line this week.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So thank you for running that little pickup thing that you do with the teams. It's really cool to pair up some runners to allow them to, basically talk to one another and get some advice, like a mini mentor thing going on there. And also appreciate you running the race. You originally had volunteered to do commentary for the race, but since the scheduled race was the wrong thing because somebody, Schwantz, can't read when a schedule is. Thursday does not equal Wednesday for those of you out there.
Okay, so you're taking the blame for that because I was pretty sure
that's
that was me. But if
nope,
you
that
take
was
the blame,
that was my fault. Listen, I was the one that filled out the spreadsheet first, and I think that was one of the first ones that I put on there because I'm like, oh, that's the time we usually have for speed gaming. That's perfect. If you go back and look in the chat, there is a message from me that says, hey, do you guys want to do the speed gaming slot? And then you look at the referring message and it says Thursday. It's like, duh, I can't read. Don't get old, people, because then you can't read. Anyways, thank you for volunteering to race is what I was trying to say anyway. Can't have the races without the runners. And congratulations on your speedy victory here. And good luck with the rest of the Warring Triads event.
All right. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Catch you later.
Good night.
So, Jex Farok here on Tier 2. We lost him for a bit, but here we go. He gets back down, and then he gets up again. Terra is frozen, which is not fun. Meanwhile, other three runners dealing with the statue bosses, and like I mentioned, that level 50, they are no joke here, Joker Mage.
Yeah, Jesus Frog did get through that poltergeist, but Christopher Walken did have to reset out. Knuckly Kong, I think, that may have been the last or next to last statue for him. Because that was Goddess. I don't know if he did Doom, but I'm pretty sure he did the center ones already. Christopher Walken is going to go fight Goddess now. So it is like there is definitely like a race going on here amongst the remaining contestants.
Yeah, it's anybody's race too. Because
sometimes I think you might have mentioned this before. A lot of the times it's kind of, it really does depend on which just sort of the random chance of, did you get the right matchup for these three different fights.
Yeah, so one of the strategies that I've been doing, and I guess the cat's out of the bag now, so I might as well talk about it, right? What I've been doing actually is, as soon as I get to 6 characters, I head into Kefka's Tower to clear out the entire middle lane, basically, with my party number 3. So you'll have to defeat the Inferno spot and Guardian spot and Poltergeist spot, but you're using your whole party instead of a depleted party like you are in these situations that you see our runners getting into. And then you could peek at what the remaining 2 statue bosses are, so that when you come back into the tower later, you could take 2 characters each on each of the side statues. So you do lose a little time in walking through Kefka's Tower, but I think you also make up that time for the faster fights against those bosses and the game knowledge and planning that goes into it a little bit as well. So
that is actually my strategy for my Archipelago Worlds Collide games.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Because that sort of, I personally call it the right hand swing, because it's on the right hand side party and you're just swinging through everything with them.
Yeah, no, it's a good strategy.
And Christopher Walken has another reset, I think, against Goddess, unfortunately. Jesus the Frog is through Doom. Knuckly Kong is still fighting Doom.
Yeah, I agree. Having the statues in there, they're in vanilla spots, I think, in this race, right? Or are they French vanilla?
It's French vanilla. Poltergeist is in Poltergeist spot, but I think the other 2 swapped.
Yeah, so having them in their spots is certainly interesting. I think we saw Goddess do Fallen 1 to to Drink's glue earlier. It got a little butt clenchy at that moment.
Yeah, and Jex is now on the final Kefka fight.
Yeah, so it looks like he has most of his original party. I think Sabin is a newcomer just by looking at the stuff that he's got. Because I think Golem, you said, was at Doma Throne, and I don't remember where Fenrir was.
Yeah, they found Fenrir pretty early, as I recall.
I wasn't sure if all of our runners had access to Fenrir.
Okay, I think Knuckly Kong has already gone through the 2 side statues and just has to get through Poltergeist, but I know he got through Doom at least.
Yeah, these statues are no joke, and Knuckly Kong, I think, was the only one that uncursed the shield at 18 battles. It was a bit high, but as I mentioned, this is where it pays off for you, because now he's basically immune to almost everything that Poltergeist can throw at him, and he can use Ultima, especially with the Economizer in this flag set for one of the dead check rewards. So, to me, 18 seems a bit high. I think 15 might be the most I'd ever go, but Knuckly Kong proving me wrong here, because it's definitely worth it for the end game.
Okay, so we got Jesus and Christopher Walken both through the their respective statues there, and
the clutch proc. I think this will do it with that proc. Oh no! Outcome's goner, but his guys will be fine.
Yeah, Edgar and Sabin are taking a nap right now.
Sabin could actually use the Illumina, so at least he was doing that. Gotta be careful. Okay, there it is. Because you can proc Ultima, or proc an Ultima counter under 10,000 HP, but Jexvarok knows what he's doing and ends up taking it down. Official time of 1:35:11. Get your GGs in chat for him as well.
GGs. It looks like Knuckly Kong and Jesus the Frog might be starting their Kefka fight close to one another.
Yeah, Jesus the Frog on the switches first. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and we are joined by Jex. GG.
GG's.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your strategy for Poltergeist's Fury flag sets with access to the Dragoon set early. You went to the Coliseum to go pick that up, and access to YMPC remove to get at some goodies.
Wait, there was YMPC remove?
Yes, okay, never mind. You did not know about that, so let's focus on the other thing, the Coliseum.
Wait. YMPC remove? Oh my goodness, that would have changed my routing so horribly.
Well,
oh man.
Good thing this is a practice one and not the real thing, huh?
Yeah, learned my lesson. Oops.
So yeah, go ahead.
So one item in particular changed my routing. That was finding, well, for starters, having Edgar in the party, and then I found a cat hood that was equipable. That changed my routing all kinds of fun, funky ways. And
so why the cat hood?
Because half price fire rods.
Yep.
Yeah, that would do it. The first time I ever ran this seed, I ran into half price fire rods and pearl rods. So it was
boy.
So it was like, okay, do all my freebie checks, sell all my dead check relics, because gem boxes sell for a nice chunk of cash, and just buy rods and go to town and everything. Well, it wasn't. I mean, like just having fire rods is a huge boon for this flag set at half price.
Yeah, I noticed you carrying around a big fat stack of them, and you also had you found a Super Ball somewhere too. Was that was the Coliseum, or was that in?
Should I cast a million ultimates?
Yeah, that was the Coliseum. I bet something
1
silly,
million ultimates, please.
just to see what it was. What was the other thing? Oh, finding those Illuminos in Nakia. World of Balance. Yeah, that was big. I was just like, all right, well, change my routing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No. I was gonna say, were you a little worried there having 3 characters for quite a while?
Oh goodness, no. I am fine with having 3 characters when I hit like level 30.
Mm-hmm.
That way, anybody new who joins the team is already going to be at max health, or same level as the rest of the party. So, if I got some extra equipment, I can just rig them up and throw them in and have them as backup characters in a party, like Sabin. Unfortunately, he did not use his Northern Cross, did not connect.
Yeah.
On Tier 4 Kefka, because if that happened, oh my goodness, all bets were off for then.
Yeah, that would have been ridiculous. Oh,
and you saw the Doom Dragon Rage connect on Goddess. So you saw the results of that.
Oh boy, Phoenix down, gone, or rather, out from Goddess on Christopher Warkin's screen. Never any fun, and that's going to be another reset there. The statues are kind of a bit of a problem in this flag set, Jexy, so how do you prepare for them?
Generally with this kind of flag set, because you're not generally going to run into good weapons,
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay attention to your commands. That's one of the big ones. So, say Runic, which Runic can be useful for, say, Poltergeist, for any of them, really. Well, mainly Goddess and Doom. Runic can be particularly handy just to soak up some bonus magic damage heading your way.
Yep.
When it comes to offense, you want to find defense ignoring damage is one of the big ones. So Sword Tech 7 was a big help for that one. If you noticed, I threw that +2 strength Esper on Edgar at some point and just let it marinate.
Yeah,
and just jack his strength up.
So it looks like you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you only get one of the dragons?
Yeah, I only killed one dragon.
Were you going to originally go for the full dragons and just didn't have time, or was it never really part of your strategy for this?
It was part of my strategy, but then circumstances changed throughout the run. It was just like, I don't need dragons anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, we did have access to Cyan down in the Figaro engine room, which could have given you all of the sword techs, obviously, going through Cyan's stream. With NPC remove, I think things would have been a little bit different, right? So that might have
I probably would have raided. I probably would have raided Mount Colts. And
Mount
also,
Zozo, you mean?
Or Mount Zozo, I would have raided, and plus, because I found Terra, I could have just blasted right through Zozo check.
Yeah.
Amongst a couple other little odds and ends.
Well, now you know for next time, and there you go. So yeah, other than the stockpiling of fire rods and the plethora of Illuminos, anything else that you did in the seed that you thought was interesting? The Curse Shield, in case you were curious, was at 18 battles. Is that something that you would be trying to do, even with access to Ultima on the table and the Paladin Shield for the statues, or is 18 a bit too much for you?
It depends on the circumstances. With this flag set, if I had the ribbon,
Mm-hmm.
I would have considered it because of the routing choices I had available. Especially if I got an early seed.
I think you said it was
aside-
12.
aside
I thought
from-
it was 18. But anyway, go ahead.
Like there's a nice easy way to check that one.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
possible
looking it up right now.
It's possible it was 12, but like maybe the screen was blurry, so it looked like the 2 looked like an 8 when I saw it, but I thought it was 18.
I thought I could have sworn. Oh wow! So Cursed Shield battles did get jacked up. It's 11 to 20.
Yes, as Jesus the Frog does finish up there of his final Kefka. GG's 143-14 for him.
And Knuckly Kong is just starting tier 4, so he'll be right behind.
Yeah, so the reason why the Cursed Shield battles were jacked up was because anything between 6 and 14 was basically an automatic must-do for this flag set, right? You get YNPC removed, you have access to it right off the bat, so you automatically did it all the time. Now there's an actual choice, right? It's, do I do it if it's like 18? Do I not do it if it's 20? You know, that sort of thing.
The thing is,
Yeah.
12 and 18 are like opposite ends of that range, so
Right.
if I misread it as 18 when it was 12, that does sort of change the sort of perspective of the people who did run it.
Yeah, if it was 12 battles, I would probably consider it. Even 13 battles, I sometimes consider. But 18 with this flag set, probably not.
Yeah. I know that Knuckly Kong was the only one of the on-stream runners that did crack the shield, as he has also done 144-44, so that's like a minute and a half difference between Jesus the Frog and Knuckly Kong. Get your GGs in chat for both of those runners here. Yeah, I think he started out doing it normally and then found a ribbon somewhere. I think Joker Mage, you pointed out, was one of the things that he looted, so with a ribbon, it becomes a lot more palpable than just doing it as is sort of thing.
Well, it's also possible that if it was actually only 12 and we misread it, then he might have just gotten done with it a lot sooner.
Yeah.
I mean, we might have to ask if they do want an interview, figure out that. But yeah, all in all, this was a very interesting seed. I'm not. Now, what was your party like? What were the ones characters you found, Jex?
Let me see. I found Realm, Terra, Gao, and Sabin.
Yeah,
Were the
Terror
ones
with
that I
Throw.
found.
Yeah, I think you were the only one that found Sabin, because
So
I think the only other Realm person, that was their last character that they found, right? So it was interesting.
yeah, that was.
I don't even remember where I found Sabin.
So
That was at Esper Mountain.
yeah, so for Jex, that was just entirely following Gao's path.
Yeah.
So just so you have, we can let you know, you could have had Cyan if you went to the engine room in Figaro Castle, and you could have had Setzer if you went to Burning House.
Okay, I was actually considering those. I went and checked Collapsing House at the last second just to see if KT Skip was available. Because I would have just blasted right through that if that was the case.
But yeah, there was basically 3 characters available at like Sphere 0, like just off of the checks from the existing characters. But you know, because the thinking is you go deep, everyone was sort of like found their first one and just followed that path until they had to go backtrack a bit. I think you were the only one who was able to follow it all the way to Sabin at the end of that.
Yay! Interesting routing choices. And also, Kefka at Narsh was not a dead check on me today. I was happy about that. Whenever I do Kefka at Narsh, it always ends up being something that it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
Every time.
but then you don't have to walk all the way down, though.
It's quicker to walk than do the battle.
Yeah, that's probably true. Joker Mage, you have any other questions for Jexarock here?
No, I don't think so. I think it was, very well done, and you did very well. And this was a seed where there was just a lot of options open right at the start, and it's just seeing the different runners sort of pick their option and then follow it to what conclusion they got. It was very interesting.
Excellent.
Yeah, I definitely watched this back to just see like all the different pathing that happened.
Yeah, that certainly made it really interesting, at least for us here in the commentary booth, because we were learning new checks like all the time, for the most part.
Yeah, I think the last Poltergeist seed I commentated for was a very linear one. Like all the racers ended up getting the same exact characters and then just going to the tower. Like maybe even the same espers for the most part. So there was very little divergence just because it was a very linear seed. Whereas this, there was stuff to do.
There was one other strat that was on my back burner for the Poltergeist. Multi-summon.
Yeah.
Multi-summon being on, and I was crossing my fingers that I would come across Bahamut Esper, and lo and behold, I did. Granted, I had to redo the Doom fight, but hey.
Yeah, there was a couple of runners that heavily relied on multi-summon for sure.
Yeah, this is the most Bahamut I've seen in a seed.
It's a good summon.
Any other final thoughts, Jexarock, before we let you get out of here?
Yes. So, anybody here that is new to Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide and would like to learn this randomizer, go to ff6worldscollide.com. There is a link to our Discord. Please come join us in our community. It's got a lot of awesome people here that are willing to teach you the strats. We have a mentoring program to help learn the randomizer, the routing, the different strats that we use. Also, please give our Restream team and runners a follow. Also, GG's, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, Jexarock, for agreeing to race. Can't have the race without the runners, so appreciate you volunteering. And good luck with the rest of the Warring Triads event, and I hope to see you in the tournament stage later on.
Yeah, we shall see what happens. GG's.
GG's. Catch you later, man.
Okay. We did see Christopher Walken get hit with the Quake counter, which I think means that he did not get the head killed before the both arms.
Yeah, thankfully, some of his party survived, but it doesn't look like all of it did. And
are we going to have interviews with either any of the other runners, or have they declined?
They are tired and going to bed, so
that makes sense.
I don't disagree with them there.
GG's to both of them. Excellent and excellent run, and definitely watch this back when you guys are more awake.
So yeah, Christopher Walken now on to Tier 2 after finally getting over the hump that is the statue bosses in this particular flag set.
Yeah, I think on the last time I did comms for one of the Triad flag sets, one of the runners mentioned that the real boss is not Kefka, but the statues in this particular flag set. Just because, they are shuffled, but they're all going to be, like, in their sort of seats of power, if you will.
All right, so it looks like Christopher Walken also has Ultima Online. We did find Ultima on one of the Espers, so it may be the case that he decided to learn it that way versus uncursing the shield. And he's just going to keep going with this two-man group here, 10 hits coming out. This can be very dangerous because he does not have a lot of different targets for 10 hits, and he's got to get at least one of his 2 characters back up here, and hopefully Edgar absorbs these hits like a ShamWow, and there we go. Does not have access to mute, though, and Magic comes in with that RKO out of nowhere.
That was a rough fight there.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome for Magic to do that, but definitely not for our runners there. All right, so I think since our main 4 runners have finished tonight's seed, Joker, we want to wrap this up here with any other last words of wisdom?
I think Jackson Glue said it best. Like, both of them were pointing out, like, if you are at all interested in what we're doing here, definitely come and see us on the Discord. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. A whole bunch of people are willing to help you learn, and there's all sorts of flavors of Worlds Collide that you can try and see what works for you. And right now, it is I think the first week of Warring Triads event.
That's
and
correct.
there's going to be a lot of you're going to be seeing a lot of these flag sets over the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. Also, the other thing that we've been plugging is on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, one of our very own community members, Seto Kiaba, will be running a co-op multi-world seed as part of Archipelago. He will be running Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, and his buddy Zeno will be running A Link to the Past randomizer. So yes, you can run multi-world with Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. It's currently in beta, so it's not available on the actual site. But Seto Kayaba, I think, is actually how you pronounce the name. I don't know why I screwed it up the first time. Anyway, he's going to be showing it off, and if you're interested at all at doing anything involving multi-world or Archipelago or multiplayer Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide action, make sure you check out our Discord, because there is a whole section on how to set up the multi-world, and we even have a asynchronous week-long seed where you could play multiple games. I myself are playing Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide and the Link to the Past randomizer, and also Super Mario World randomizer. I know, Joker Mage, you played lots of other different games in the past.
Oh, yeah, this week I'm just doing Worlds Collide, and I'm 3 espers away from being able to get Final Kefka in mind, so I'm almost done with it, actually. But in previous weeks, I've ran 6V, the sort of platforming where you just reverse gravity to maneuver around, and I've done Stardew Valley. And Stardew Valley, I enjoy, but you have to know what you're doing with the weights file, otherwise you're going to be causing a lot of interesting things to happen to a lot of all the other people in your multi-world.
Yeah, some of the things is just really interesting. With
Stardew has a lot of options.
Yep. I remember the first time we introduced it, we had to scale back some of the settings because I was basically just sending a bunch of stuff over the wall all the time and just waiting there.
I went ahead and checked it, and if you turn on all the options to like the max, you end up with something like 996 locations.
Yeah, it's insane. So, anyways, boys and girls and Moogles out there in the audience, thank you for hanging out with us for a bit with Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. Go head on over to Questifer Warkin's Twitch if you're looking for some more Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide action as he finishes up this race. And we will see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, rather, on Wednesday is our usual slot. Take care, and thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Later.